All right, so in this section, we're going to assemble the existing site conditions by bringing in some existing site data and the property boundary into a new drawing. The current drawing we've been working in, you can actually work in here, but we're going to go ahead and close and save it and create a new one. We're also going to close the task pane. So if you still have the map workspace open or any other dialog boxes open, go ahead and close those. It cleans up your screen a little bit. And then we're going to just go to the Civil 3D icon in the upper left corner, or we could go to this icon just to the right of it, which is new, or we can say open an existing drawing file. What we're going to do is click on this drop down so that we can select new, and we're going to click new drawing. Again, multiple ways of doing that, but we're going to go ahead and choose that method. It's going to come up, it's going to give us a list of templates. You may see this later in this section or in another section, but we're going to use again that Civil 3D Imperial NCS DWT. Click open, and that's going to create a new blank drawing. You can see that it's drawing 5. If you have other drawings up here, you can close those down. The asterisk means that it wants to be saved. So I'm going to go ahead and click no to that. We don't need to save that drawing 4. The water and municipality, we can go ahead and click on that X, and that'll close that down. We'll go ahead and say yes to that. We want to save that drawing as is. So this just helps with resources. Even though you can have multiple drawings open depending on your computer, you may want to just minimize the amount of data and information that you're seeing and running on your computer. So just like we did before, we're going to go to our tool space, go to settings, and we are going to set our coordinate zone. So I'm going to right click on that drawing 5. Yours could be drawing 2, 3, or 4. Could be, as long as it says drawing, it's not, you haven't saved it, it's still a working drawing. We're going to change our imperial to metric conversion to US survey foot measurement. And then under here, our coordinate zone, we're going to go ahead and set that to USA, Pennsylvania. So we'll scroll down, pick Pennsylvania. We'll set the coordinate system to NAD State Plane, Pennsylvania North, US foot. And we'll click OK. So that sets our drawing. Now, in our data set, we have a couple drawings. So if we look at the Civil 3D folder, let's click in here. Under existing site conditions, you'll see we have this one existing survey drawing. So we can insert this drawing simply by left clicking on it from our Windows Explorer and just drag and drop it into our drawing workspace. It's going to run the insert command, and it's going to ask us for an insertion point. So we're going to insert it in at 0, 0. So I'm just typing in 0, 0. Press the enter key. It's going to ask us for a scale factor. We'll keep scale factor 1. And same with the Y, we'll hit enter. And then the rotation angle, we'll keep it 0. That's going to bring it in at the proper and original coordinates. So once you bring it in, double click the wheel to get a zoom extents. It brings it in as a block. So what we're going to do is select on it, and we can right click, and we want to explode the block. So if we select it, and just on the command line type in X, it'll bring up the explode command. I can click on that. And now you can see these are individual segments. Now we also want to bring in the property line. So if we go back to our Windows Explorer and we go into site design, under working with GIS data, we have the property boundary. If we bring that one in, same way, drag and drop it in. You can ignore this, it's just looking for a particular text file, so I'm going to click on ignore that SHX. It's going to again ask us for the insertion, so I'm going to go 0, 0, enter 1, or just basically enter, enter, enter. And now you can see that our property boundary actually drops in on top of our existing site conditions, and therefore now we have a drawing of our survey data. So now it all depends on how you got this information. This was provided to us from an aerial mapping company. You can see the lines that are shown here are contour lines. And if we look at the properties of those by right-clicking, selecting the object, right-clicking, going to properties, you'll see that that property has an elevation of 454. Okay. Now we can also switch over to like a 3D view and see that the property line is not elevated, but if we change our orbiting tool here, we can zoom around. That's actually just got that one selected, so let's escape out of that. And we got a navigation wheel, or we can just actually escape there. Let's go ahead and have nothing selected. Now we can go to orbit, and if we use our left mouse button, we can orbit around that particular point. So you can see some objects, most of the contours or all the contours are elevated. Some of the what looks like possibly streams are not, but the spot shots you see are also elevated. So we've got some spot shots in here. And that's important to point out because we're going to use this data to create a surface that then we can start doing some of our design on top of.